Moves, just one of 23 of today's top rock hits on this all-new compilation from BEN Records. Lido Shuffle and many, many more explosive hits. The dynamite sounds of Let It Slide, or Ride That Is. If I know that I would just say goodbye, would you let it ride? Chartbusters like Hooked on Feelings, the sounds of today. One hit after another on this explosive 2-record set, including Tubular Bell. Due to a pending lawsuit, we can't reveal the artist. That and it would ruin the surprise. Bands on the Run is on here. Band on the Run. Band on the Run. I'll Say I Love You in song. It exists. I have to say I love you in a song. I'll say goodbye to love. Goodbye to Love. Another flaccid hit. The Lord's Prayer, that's not even a song. 23 big hits on 2 LPs, only $7.99. So you don't forget, order before midnight tonight. Send check, money, ordered box stops, or green stamps to
individual stations. Please insert the following information here in the following order. 23 top hits, P.O. Box, fill in the blank, your town, and zip code. Again, that's 23 top hits, P.O. Box, fill in the blank, your town, and zip code. Order today or some reasonable facsimile thereof.
Nothing but blues and Elvis, somebody else's favorite song. Give us some funked up music.
And welcome to the Oddity Archive, the show that could run every conservatory in America out of business, if we really wanted to. Anyway, I've been getting asked quite a bit in the last few months, weirdly enough from our younger viewers usually, why do I keep making these record rip-off episodes? Well, one, to give you an appreciation for the originals, you damn tuneless, crap-listening whippersnappers. But more importantly, I think these albums give a certain snapshot into a bygone era that you're just not going to get from some nostalgia show or History Channel type show. I mean, it's like finding a 30, 40-year-old off-air TV or radio recording with all the commercials and stuff intact. You're just not going to get a more unfettered look at that time. So that's why I keep doing these. And since we're on the topic of warts and all portraits, I guess it's time for me to open up the vaults for another round of musical misfires. So, we do have some new wrinkles in the usual formula today, one being a Carpenter's death match. Not between the actual Carpenter siblings, I mean, that would be awfully hard to do at this point, but with a couple of tribute albums. Damn right, we've only just begun. Thank you, not quite Karen Carpenter. Anyway, today's first album comes to us by way of Gusto Records, which is a label based out of Nashville that occasionally actually does put out the real hit recordings, but more often than not, they would have some artist come in well after their prime and have them go and re-record their big hits. This is not either one of those. This is a full-on rip-off record. This is called Super Hits 74, Volume 3, Country. Yeah. And this is a definite new wrinkle in record rip-offs lore in that it's not a pop-rock record. Having said that, 3 of the 10 songs on here, despite my not being a big connoisseur of 70s country music, I actually knew. Of course, it helps that 2 of those 3 crossed over to the pop charts. And at first I thought this wasn't going to be too bad an album. I would put it on and you'd hear the intros and you'd go, yeah, it's not too bad. Then the vocals would kick in.
There's a storm across the valley, clouds are rolling in. The afternoon is heavy on me. Hey, it's good to be back home again. Sometimes this old farm seems like a long lost friend. Yes, and hey, it's good.
Love is like a butterfly, as soft and gentle as a sigh, multicolored moods of love, and like its satin wings.
Despite all the barbs that I've been throwing at this album, it's actually, I'd have to say, on the whole, one of the least offensive record ripoffs that I've ever dealt with. I mean, the vocalists, yeah, are mediocre to bad. But in terms of the instrumental backing, it's pretty solid for the most part. And from an engineering production standpoint, the mix, it's all pretty solid. I mean, I can't really knock it too much. But then you get to the last cut on the record. And of course, it would have to be my favorite song of the lot, and one of the 2 songs on here that crossed over to the pop charts. And in its original version, it was this wonderful little rockabilly thing with good crisp guitar work and a real nice tight rhythm section, and a real joyous vocal, and just a fun listen all around. Here, it just all sounds kind of weirdly, drunkenly out of sync, and of course the mediocre vocalists don't help either. So, and he botches the lyrics to boot. So, without further ado, let me introduce the immortal, or is it immoral, William Turkey.
Sad as people get lonely, ain't nothing new. But a woman like you, baby, should never have the blues. Let me help. I got 2 for me. Let me help.
Since we're on the subject of new frontiers, this is a definite new wrinkle. Show tunes are a thing, right? Okay, normally I wouldn't even give an airing to a bunch of show tune ripoffs, but there was a period there during the heyday of the rock musical where this stuff would cross over to the top 40 quite a bit. You know, you had Hair and Jesus Christ Superstar. And, well, I guess that makes this next 8-track a good candidate for record ripoffs. But seriously, tell me true. What kind of crackhead would make an album of electric organ covers of songs from the most dated, hippy-dippy, inane musical of this trend, namely Godspell, in 1975, some 3 years after its run on the pop charts, and just a bit after the hippie movement? No, really, that's what this album is. I told you I wasn't joking. Okay, this is not meant to be empty hyperbole here, but of all the truly awful albums that I've had to sit through for Oddity Archive, be it Christmas Disco Party, or the Happy Hamsters Sing Michael Jackson's Greatest Hits, or Muskrat Love, any of those albums, this, of all albums, is the one that damn near broke me. And this thing's about half an hour long. It's really not that long. I mean, Muskrat Love was like a 90-minute 2-album set. But I don't know what to say. It almost did me in. If you're not familiar with Godspell, the play, it's allegedly the Gospel of St. Matthew told in a contemporary setting. And all I can say to that is, if this is the good word, then atheist missionaries, if they actually exist, would be wise to use this as a recruitment tool. If I have anything nice at all to say about this tape, it's that it is well mastered, well manufactured, a good frequency response by 8-track standards, no alignment issues, which is so unusual for 8 tracks. And it did leave me with one question, though. Why the hell can't my Rolling Stones tapes sound this good? Now, this next album almost breezed right past me, but first let me give you just a quick history lesson. In 1970, there was this little duo called Simon and Garfunkel, and they put out this little album called Bridge Over Troubled Water, and it sold pretty well. Fast forward to 1974, Simon and Garfunkel have long since ceased to exist as a duo, and this is still a pretty popular back catalog item. So much so that the powers that be at SAM Music, or SAM Music, or Sound-alike Music, decided that we should do a little tribute to these guys. And so they put out their own little album, and, well, I think you'll see why I had a bit of a problem. You don't notice just a slight resemblance, do you? Anyway, the original album is home to such tunes as, of course, Bridge Over Troubled Water and El Condor Pasa. This tape is home to even bigger classics, tunes like Bridge Over Troubled Waters, 2 for the price of 1, and El Condor Pasa. Now, just in case you think this might be an album for you, I do have a little questionnaire prepared for you here, so let me shoot these questions off at you. Number 1, have you ever heard of Simon and Garfunkel? Number 2, have you ever wondered what Mrs. Robinson would sound like as a 60s go-go dance club tune as performed by a couple of sedated wannabe Brits? Number 3, have you ever wanted to learn Homeward Bound on acoustic guitar, but found it to be just too gosh darn hard? And number 4, did you think the assload of reverb on the original version of the Boxer just wasn't quite enough? And if you answered yes to all of these questions, then yes, this is the album for you.
And
Here's to you, Mrs. Robinson. Jesus loves you more than you will know. Whoa, whoa, whoa. God bless you, please, Mrs. Robinson. Heaven holds a place for those who pray. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. Home, when my thoughts escaping home, when my music playing home, when my love lies waiting silently for me, silently for me.
If you remember our last installment of Record Ripoffs, you probably remember that I devoted a good chunk of that episode to TEJ, or as we like to call it, Tin-Eared Junk Records. Now, literally just a day or two after that episode premiered, I found this. Maybe you remember the commercial?
Tubular Bells and Top 20 Rock, the big sounds of today's big hits on 2 super LPs. Because of low royalties, we can't reveal the artists.
Now, according to the only, sadly, partial discography I've ever been able to find of TEJ Records, this is apparently their first release. Catalog number 100. I'm kind of hard-pressed to argue with that. But let me just say that if Muskrat Love and Saturday Night Disco represented the maturation of this label, then this has to be its awkward middle school yearbook photo.
Never seeing no one eyes again like you.
All I need is a time today if I ever get out of here. If we ever get out of here. She's got electric boots, a mullet suit. You know I read it in a magazine. No, Benny and the Jets. I can't stop this feeling deep inside of me. Girl, you just don't realize what you do to me.
Now, normally the instrumental pieces on these albums tend to be the closest to the originals, but not on this album. Now, I admit, I kind of have a real soft spot for a lot of 70s progressive rock, and one of my favorites of the genre is Mike Oldfield's 1973 album-length opus, Tubular Bells. And there was, in the wake of its use in the movie The Exorcist, a 3-minute sort of Reader's Digest condensed version released as a single. You have heard this piece of music before, and it doesn't sound like a hard motive to play, but trust me, it is. People who are not familiar with this piece of music are going to listen to this and go, sounds okay to me. Whereas people that have spent some time with the original are going to think that this sounds so dumbed down that their head's magically just going to start doing 360s and they're going to start spewing pea soup everywhere. At least Tubular Bells was consistent. The Entertainer, on the other hand, was a train wreck of epic proportions. I love Stevie Wonder, I really do. But I have to say that the goofy intro to Don't You Worry About a Thing is actually way funnier on this album.
I can understand how you can. You see, because I've been to Paris, Peru, Iraq, Iran, Ukraine, and I speak very, very fluent Spanish. Total tabi un chévere. You understand that, mama? Chévere. Right, yeah. Now, see here, I got my thing together. I want you to listen to this.
Everybody's got a thing, but some don't know how to handle it.
Jim Croce was, I think, a wonderful singer-songwriter, and he was tragically killed in a plane crash in 1973. Now, just before he died, he finished a new album, and that album was released sometime towards the end of the year. Unsurprisingly, the album became a pretty big hit, and also unsurprisingly, TEJ just had to jump on the Croce gravy train.
So I had to say I love you in a song. Yeah, I know it's kinda strange. Every time I'm near you, I just run out of things to say. I know you'd understand. Every time I try to tell you, the words just came out wrong. So I have to say I love you in a song.
1974 was a big year for unlikely hits. I mean, you had Tubular Bells and The Entertainer, and you even had a rock version of The Lord's Prayer floating near the top of the charts at one point during the year. Now, another one of the biggies of 1974 was the utterly deranged Under the Big Top freakout, The Show Must Go On, which was made a hit by Three Dog Night. And I actually have a copy of the original album here, and if you've never seen the cover, it's just as freaky as the song. You're in the delivery room, you got a monster mannequin giving birth to the latest Three Dog Night album, and if you have this on vinyl, the fluid-covered LP is actually the same one in the sleeve, albeit minus the fluid. And this album cover got banned at the time, by the way. It only got reinstated when it came out on CD. But I guess the big question here is, does the TEJ version live up to the original? Actually, yes, it does. Dare I say it's even a tad weirder than the hit version. Up next, we've got Music from the Motion Picture FM, to which all the classic rock geeks are probably out there going, what's wrong with the FM soundtrack? It's pretty decent. I agree, but unfortunately this is not the original soundtrack. Imagine that. Not only is it not the original soundtrack, it's a bunch of sound-alikes that are only sound-alikes if you're completely deaf or have never heard the originals before. And, normally there's something on here that isn't too bad, but every single song on here just openly pisses on the original. So let's start at the beginning. FM, classic Steely Dan song, a song that in its original version appropriately kind of sounds like a slick radio ID jingle. Here it's karaoke night at TGI Fridays.
The drop of a name. They knew all the right people. They took all the right pills. They threw outrageous parties. They pay heavenly bills. Don't go changing. Try and please me. You never let me down before. Don't imagine you're too familiar. And I don't see you anymore. You said one more job, I ought to get it. One last shot, before we quit it. One for the road, Lido. Oh, he's for the dice, he's for the show.
And as for the ladies, poor old Linda Ronstadt, she takes it up the ass here. Twice. And as for you, Michael McDonald, you are getting that sex change.
It keeps you running, yeah, it keeps you running. Oh, I know how I feel, hey, you know I've been there.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the main event, the Carpenters Death Match. Yeah. 2 tribute albums go in, but only one makes it out alive, and only barely. So, in this corner, weighing in at about 3 ounces, we've got from Sound Alike Music, Impressions of the Carpenters. And in the other corner, weighing in also at about 3 ounces, from Pickwick Records, we've got The Young Lovers Sing the Carpenters Songbook.
Why do birds suddenly appear every time you are near? Just like me, they long to be close to you.
Why do birds suddenly appear every time you are near? Just like me, they long to be close to you.
I say goodbye to love. No one ever cared if I should leave or die. Time and time again, the chance for love has passed me by, and all I know of love is how to live without it.
I say
Just
goodbye to love. No one ever cared if I should live or die. Time and time again, the chance for love has passed me by, and all I know of love is how to live without it. I just can't seem to find it. So I think
we've only just begun to live. Wordless and promises, a kiss for luck and we're on our way. Before the rising sun,
we've really just begun to live. White lace and promises, a kiss for love, we're on our way.
hanging around, nothing to do but frown. Rainy days and Mondays always get me
Well, it was close, but I think we have a winner. By a nose, it's Impressions of the Carpenters. Oh, sure, the Young Lovers disc had better sound and a better vocalist, but this was light years ahead of its time. I mean, this thing anticipated the sounds of indie, lo-fi, grunge, shoegaze all at once, some 15, 20 years ahead of time. I gotta salute it for that. And that's it for today's archive. Join us next time when I renegotiate my salary using that Godspell tape.
That's right, keep that applause coming. Oh yeah.